Liqwids Lackluster response. I felt like that was a nice way of titling this last video in my liquid series of videos here. So in front of you, you are looking at Liqwids' response to the debauchery that just went down yesterday. And if you watched my video, like the last video I put out, this is exactly what I read from Kylix in the Discord. Word for word, copy and pasted. And, look up the definition of lackluster. It's like without any compassion for your users, we deserve a copy and pasted statement from the team. Like nothing. Let me see. How's my mic? Okay, there we go. Completely lackluster response. I won't read it again. Like how much money did Liquid make yesterday off liquidations? And what are they doing as far as like pioneering themselves as being one of the top tier borrowing and lending platforms on Cardano DeFi? I think it's embarrassing to put out a statement like this from the team, right? That shows no compassion for anything, because this is exactly what you see every time Liquid comes on the scene. Every time when something like this happens, somebody in the Discord actually found Kylix's previous statement. It's like just like this. It's like, oh, we found something else. I think there should be a call to do something more, and so I think this is Liquid trying to sneak by. They're trying to just slide by, just liquidating people injuriously with an app that literally can't handle the preservation of people's portfolios, right? Liquid Labs, to me, it's unfortunate. It just feels like it's an absolute joke going on right now. So I've gotten people texting me, all kinds of stuff happening. People are telling me thoughts, things I should do. Because I don't think Liquid should just like sneak by with some of this. I don't think they should just slide by this easily. And so I think that they're hoping the community just like forgets these debacles constantly over and over and over again, when the reality is the end user is just completely left stranded. Take for instance the ticket I opened up. They say put a ticket together, right? It's like, yeah, here we are. We're on live right now doing a thing that, repost it, get the message out there, right? Somebody put a meme coin. I'm not endorsing that meme token at all. I'm not saying anything about that meme token. All right. Somebody trying to capitalize. I have no idea who that is. Okay. I have no idea who that is. I don't recommend that to anything. It could be a complete scam. Right. This whole unfortunately, this whole cryptocurrency community is filled with scams and debacles. And to be honest, like, I don't know what Liquid's doing, right? I don't know. Why don't you think about going into the forensics more? You know how many like invalid transactions I have on my thing? It's like, it's crazy, right? Like it's crazy. How many invalid transactions I have in my wallet? It's kind of laughable, this response. Well, one option is you could do a forensics. Out of all those people who got liquidated, can there be any compensation for anyone? Or we don't matter that much? Like, I don't know. But this will be my last video. Like I said, this is my last video. I have a lot of hope for the Cardano community in the space, but what they say, open a ticket. My ticket still hasn't been answered, and I'm sure that there's a lot of others that where their tickets aren't answered, and so it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate times, right? because this is a protocol that everybody likes and everybody seems to like, but yeah, it's like YAM4 Cardano. Let me introduce you folks who are thinking about lending and borrowing. Here's a team that I think is serious about onboarding serious users. Okay, I've done my forensics on YAM4 as well. I think they're here to take over in many different ways. They're doing something completely novel. They have a fantastic Discord. You should take a look at what they have going on. It's not just YAM4. They have several products coming out. This trilogy of products coming out. Lending and borrowing simplified. They don't have margin calls and liquidations because of their cyclical treasury system. I've done videos on YAM4. They're awesome, and now I'm working on an unwinding from my liquid positions and making a full migration over here. Capture some of what they got going on. We see if we could go to tap tools. I'll show you the YAM4, right? The CBLP token, right? I don't know. They got some good stuff going on. Community-backed liquidity positions, but you don't know, right? You don't know. You don't know what you're going to get. And I think the true test of a project is what happens when things get heated. Like that's when a project, a team shows its true colors. And like the Liquid team. Let's go find Liquid finance team. I think they hide. They hide. They're here right now. Look at them. Here they are. And like the all they could say to the community is a copied and pasted thing, out to everybody. And it's sad, So I don't know if there's a way to pursue this a little further. I think that it should be done, because how else can you let a protocol understand that you're serious? I mean, right? Something could be done, and it would be really easy for Liquid to say something a little bit compassionate, more than a copied and pasted, like laughable sort of reflection on what happened and took place in one of the most crucial times cryptocurrency's ever seen. I mean, we're in a bull market, right? We're going into a volatile market. And borrowing and lending platforms, in my view, can be leveraged equally on the way up as they can be leveraged on the way down, right? And so if you are taking advantage of your swing trading, and if you are bullish obviously during the bull market, and you're shorting the bear markets, I mean, that's my whole strategy behind leveraging borrowing and lending platforms. I mean, what do we, heading into this bull market where we have tremendous volatility at our feet, Bitcoin, right? It's cresting that 100,000. It's only a matter of time until that shoots up to something like 200,000. I think in short time, you're going to see Bitcoin blaze the trail for some volatility. And, what are we doing here? We got all these positions like locked up on Liquid. I have 6-7 positions on Liquid Finance, and I can't maneuver. And so I think an example has to be set that this is something that can't be let go. And I think that a project like Liquid thinks that they're untouchable, thinks that they can just put out a little comment like that and just disappear into thin air and just wreck people. And frankly, I think it's a disservice to the entire community of Cardano DeFi, which I'm so passionate about. And so, like I said, my ticket isn't even answered. And I'm sure there's many others that have that same problem, but yeah, so I'm working on some plans and ideas to figure out how we could go further down the road and further down the pathway of trying to get some justice, right? Like, I don't know. I've had a lot of people say that's like, it's just irresponsible to allow your app to be live like that and get smashed with these errors. Like, go into testnet, right? Shut it down, right? I mean, Liquid might say, well, you know, there's a disclaimer. Yeah, of course, like we all understand that, but I don't know if I don't know if there's, you know, attorneys out there that would laugh at the disclaimer, at the injury caused by what's going on. I mean, I don't know, right? I have people telling me both ways, but I'm sure you can push enough to get the app to get shut down for a period of time though, until it's solvent, right? Until it can make good to its users who rely on it. You know, I didn't consider Liquid when I did my research and, you know, I started participating in liquid finance here, to consider it to be a project that is meant for like tiny little positions. Like some of the jokesters in Discord are, you know, puffing up. I thought this was a serious platform for serious investors and, you know, savvy investors. And I mean, just that meme coin alone is a reflection. The community realizes what's going on, and everybody's been silent all this time. But, you know, how many people are like sitting in a corner today, waking up thinking, damn, what the heck? You know, like, what happened? I did everything I possibly could to protect these positions, and I lost this asset. I lost something, you know. Those 850,000 min tokens that I lost came from 2 years of participating in yield farming, and, you know, it's a long time. It's a long time of work, long time of strategy, and just poof, gone with no compassionate, you know, addressing response to the team. And it's a sad day, right? I mean, on Cardano DeFi as a whole. So I think that, you know, something should be done more about it. And now that we have on-chain governance coming and to the scene, you know, maybe there could be deeper measures. And, you know, I know there's a lot of legal in this, but I feel in my heart that Liquid feels like they're untouchable. I feel like they think that they're just the greatest people out there, and that we don't matter to them at all. You know, I don't know. I haven't seen Liquid at like Rare Evo, or, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I get everybody's busy and stuff, but, you know, it's not like I see a presence like a Liquid anywhere. You know, I don't know what they're doing, and that's totally fine. Like, I'm not saying that you have to be a part of, you know, the events and things like that. But what I do know is that response reflects complete lack of care and reverence to the community of users who, you know, trust and rely and been diehard soldiers for this project forever. I mean, like I said, I've been a part of Liquid for a really long time, and I had to do backflips to protect my positions. I had to do absolute backflips to manage not being completely wiped out in this position. You know, it's not my entire portfolio, but I mean, it's a serious amount. And I mean, I had to go through backflips just to unstake the Liquid so that I could then supply that and attach it to a loan, because it wasn't letting me repay the loan. It wasn't letting me add any ADA or add any. It was absolutely madness. And it's irresponsible. And, you know, I thought last night, I was like, well, I'll just do a video. I mean, I couldn't believe that I had to do a video last night, but, you know, to kind of log it so that I have proof, right? So that I have some proof of, step by step. I also took like screen grab shots of continuing to try to document the fact that I'm literally trying to repay these loans with all of my heart for time and time and time, and then just like being smacked with nothing, right? And there's no response from the team. There's not even anyone, no one on Discord. One person, Nuff, was telling people to open tickets and use V1, which was just like horrible. I think I even said something where I was like, I think that there should be some like call to the team to wake them up. Like it's like, oh, they'll be up in a few hours and they'll fix it by the end of today, right? And it's like, well, isn't this some sort of an extreme emergency where the team should be somehow notified and brought to attention, and there should be some sort of alarm that is set in place when you're dealing with people's finances, their livelihoods, right? Isn't that why Cardano got started? To bank the unbanked and what have you, I mean, I have people from around the world that are participating in Liquid because I'm sharing the videos about liquid finance. So it's terrible for me to imagine. This is another reason why I put these videos out there. It's like, well, how does it make me feel to think that they were sitting there trying to figure out how to do their positions? It's like, it's just laughable. Shut your app down. You copy and pasted a response. It's absolutely malpractice, right? It's malpractice in my opinion. Sorry, I've shut my phone down here a little bit, but I appreciate the texts. I appreciate the reach outs. Like I said, I mean, I'm sitting here talking about liquid finance. I'm a big believer. I like liquid finance. I trust this. It's not like your funds it's not like smart contract logic we're talking about here. I'm not talking about smart contract logic, the code, right? The smart contract is brilliant. What Liquid has been doing is brilliant. It's amazing, right? And I've done videos about it. This is about the lack of complete care for the community that it supports. We're supporting. This May, I think it's my 3-year mark like with my positions on Liquid. It's I mean, it's like Cardano spent all this time to build a layer 1 that people can trust, right? You move from don't be evil to can't be evil, and this just feels like it's just so contrarian to that ethos of Cardano, which is helping the misinformed and the unfortunate, right? Maybe the have-nots, if you will, to have a way to get ahead in life, to be invited to the table of financial sovereignty, and to be restricted from helping your positions. This is a traumatic experience. I said it yesterday. I'll say it again. It's like you're seeing someone drowned in the lake, and you have a raft, and you want to save them from drowning. And you want to do everything in your power to save them from drowning. And there is some force that just shackles you. You literally have the raft in your hand, and you're ready to throw it in and save their life. And you get shackled with the raft in your hand. And you watch this person just go ahead and drown. And that person last night was our positions, right? That was we were standing there. There was a bunch of us standing there with our hands on a raft to go ahead hours before we needed to. It went from, like, we all saw the chart. It dropped off, and it methodically fell off a cliff over hours and hours and hours, starting from like the whole day. It wasn't until the wee hours of the night where it really fell off a cliff, and people were having trouble managing their positions that entire time. It's like, when that happens and you're there to save someone's life and you can't, it is traumatic. and it's not right. And that's why we're doing it. It's traumatizing experience, you know? And I don't want people to feel that way, especially from something that I'm talking about, helping people try to experience Cardano DeFi. It's hard enough to get in DeFi, right? It's hard. It's difficult enough to trust and, you know, and upload a wallet and get on an exchange and purchase some ADA and come over to MinSwap and swap some tokens and get some Liquid and get some MinSwap, right? And get some tokens, and then, you know, build up a layer of trust and go ahead and then participate in Cardano DeFi. This is a long journey I take people down the path towards evolving a person from like white belt, complete greenhorn. They have no crypto. They're just like stock people or not even investors. They don't even have investments. Most of these people I talk to, a lot of them are like blue collar. They're like mechanics, construction people, average Joes. I have a whole Greek fam out there. Shout out to the Greek fams if you guys are watching. I don't even know if they do X, but they're amazing people, you know, and they're to have trouble. It's not right. It's not right. And something more has to be done. I think the team just wanted to slip away and just disappear and say, oh, maybe no one will notice. Maybe the community will just have amnesia. And you know what's going to happen is the next time we get volatility, maybe it's in the upward direction. People aren't going to be able to do stuff. You know, and by the way, I mean, people get liquidated more upward on an upward trajectory of volatility than they do on downward too. It's the same exact risk. Right? And like, I'm just offended by the response to the degree where I feel like it shows their true colors. You know, and I know everybody wants to talk, you know, about how fantastic Liquid is. And I'm telling you, I'm that one. I just like literally got funded, you know, vetted on Liquid's top 50 and then actually got their vote and eventually then got funded. I'm appreciative of Liquid. I've been loyal to Liquid. But this is like too much, right? It's not a joke. If it was meant to be a joke, then they should have said that. They should cap their loans at $1,000. They should cap their loans at $2,000. Like, you can't supply more than that. I mean, do something like that, right? Until you guys understand what you're doing. Because I think what you're trying to do is just capture network effect. I think you're trying to capture like, we're the best. And, you know, what's happening is like, you're causing so much harm to the ecosystem. And I don't think that you care. That's the problem. Like, there's no compassion from the team at all. Silent crickets for, I don't know, 24 hours almost. Still haven't even addressed my ticket. Probably won't for a couple of days. And that's the case. That's the standard. Time after time after time. So it wasn't like a knee-jerk reaction to just go ahead and start making videos about liquid finance here in this manner. It's been volatile situation after volatile situation, and then an addressing of it, and then people are getting liquidated. I search the liquidations and I just feel for these people. And then I get texts, I get messages. People are saying, what the heck? I couldn't adjust my positions. And I'm right there with you. It's like impossible. So, you know, be more clear with your community, right? Be more clear. Like, who are these people? You know, it's like Dwayne Cameron here. Dwayne Cameron. Let's do a space, right? Let's do a space with like Florian and Dwayne, and let's talk about it. I mean, I was just on there. They had a little bit of a, it was like a Discord sort of like AMA thing. Yeah, I was on that, you know, and I respect their roadmap. I respect what they're doing, but I think that they should be in like testnet, honestly. And, because people are getting injured, right? People are getting injured. We're in volatile times. The most volatile time in like the world right now, on the world stage, in crypto markets, in the business end of the bull market here, when we're coming up on the last, you know, year of the bull market is always the most volatile. You're going to see 40% retracements. You're going to see 3 or 4 of these all the way up. It doesn't just go up in a straight line. Look at your technicals. Okay. There are at least 2 or 3, sometimes even 4, 30 to 40% retracements. And I'm talking like that's normally the case with Bitcoin. Because I study Bitcoin in my technicals more than some of the other altcoins because it has just the most history. But altcoins suffer even more volatility than Bitcoin does. And so there's talks about this might be a super cycle and we might be going into a big cycle. Yeah, there's talks, right? And there's a lot of truth behind that. So this could be even more volatile than ever, especially because you have institutions coming in, you have heavy hitters coming in, you have big players coming in. I'm talking with big players. I'm trying to round up people who I've been cultivating and courting for long periods of time, who've been on the fence and nervous about participating in DeFi, in the blockchain space. And then you have an event like this happen and it's like, they're like, see, that's why. They're like, great. And another scam protocol, you know, and then when you get this laughable, barely even any kind of statement, Kylix puts it out, you know, Kylix over here, you know, get on the call, all 3, all 4, you know, like let's get on a call and check it out. Right. Like address the community. How about that? How about Emily Martins and Kylix Alfonso, Florian, Dwayne? We do a little powwow, you know, some of the software engineers down here. Why don't we all get together and do a call for the community? Right? I'm sitting here facing my community of people, you know, and why not face the community? And look them in the eye, so to speak, right? And say, dang, man. And maybe we can get creative on how we can actually help in a creative way, maybe compensate somehow. And that's what, these people who are injured. And that's where it kind of brings me back to this thought of taking this further, because there's no way they're ever going to learn their lesson. They don't. Yeah, somebody else in the chat on the original video where it's like we're getting liquidated in real time. Like, sorry, it was a lot of people said it was hard to watch. Yeah, it was hard to experience. So at the same time, I'm sorry to bring you through it, but it was hard to go through that. And in some of the comments, people are like, he's like, this is what happened the first time. This is what happened the second time. And this is what happened the third time. And it's like, fool me once, shame on you. What is it? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And that's where I'm like looking at that like, you know what? I gave Liquid 1, 2, 3. It's like, this was the line in the sand, right? This is the line in the sand. Line in the sand for me. It's not right. You know, how about the team comes out and says something? A copy and paste is what we get, right? Jokesters in the Discord making fun out of the whole thing. I think there's a lot of grounds to move forward in a direction where there could be something brought to Liquid that they would have to address the injuries caused by the community, is my opinion, in some way, shape, or form. I'm not threatening anything. Like, I'm not saying anything like that. I don't want that to happen. I want people to be able to, like, understand what they're getting into. With Liquid, there's not that understanding here. It's not cool. I don't know if I ever see anyone from the team. Kylix is the only one in the Discord saying anything. Like where's Dwayne? Where's Dwayne Cameron right here? He's chilling in his little Liquid shirt. And Florian, like, where are they at? Come on out. I mean, you guys are the co-founders. I think it would feel really good to the community if you guys came out and did a space and talked about how every single time there's volatility going on in the markets, the app is completely unresponsive. Explain to us why that is the case, right? Explain to us why this is something you guys are, I guess, comfortable with, obviously, because the only thing that we deserve from the community is just a little copy and pasted sort of remark that doesn't do anything to help anyone feel better about last night's debacle. I'm supposed to just let 850,000 min tokens just disappear from my life with a little comment like that, and jokesters in the Discord. Yeah, I think there's more that can be done for sure on many different fronts. And so sometimes, out of the blue, you just get all of a sudden passionate about something, and so maybe this is unexpected, right? I didn't expect to be doing these videos. I didn't expect to develop a passion to bring some light on liquid finance, where everybody's just fanning them and fanning them and fanning them. And yes, I was one of them. I mean, I appreciate what they're doing. Their product is great in many ways, in theory, right? I think that what they're offering in the roadmap is novel and utilizes the UTXO model and does what 3 different projects in Ethereum have to do separately. Liquid is doing them at once. And so I'm not knocking what they're doing. I just feel like it should be in testnet phase. Like Yam4, for instance, just came out. They've been working for 2 years, 3 years, or maybe more. And they just came out. Okay. Welcome to the mainnet launch. They just came out. It's extremely simple, and they're just releasing the first version of what they have going on because they don't want people to have this experience. So they're not trying to go ahead and try to grab network effect from the community at the risk and the harm of others, just to claim that they're the best borrowing and lending platform on God's green earth. They're making sure that their ducks are in a row. And I see a lot more value being locked up on Yam4 every day. Like I said, I'm doing a full migration over here just because of the principle, right? No. But something should be done, right? Something should be done. And Yam4 is not just Yam4, right? They have a whole suite of products that are set to launch, that are coming out. Now, they would love to just go ahead and launch and start grabbing network effect, and they probably could, but they're waiting until everything is properly done so that by the time they launch, they can handle volume, they can handle problem scenarios, extreme volatility measures, right? I don't think Liquid shares that passion. I think Liquid wants to be the best. Rightfully so, right? Rightfully so. Everybody wants to be the best. But it just doesn't follow Cardano's ethos of like slow and methodical, and the users of the platform as a number one priority of safeguarding those precious people and their funds and their precious funds. Liquid to me seems a little bit reckless, and they've been reckless. And I'm sure that there's a lot of people, if you go and found everybody that got liquidated, that just was like trying their heart out to manage their position and couldn't over the past 3 years of time. I'm sure that that adds up to a lot. And, I'm sure all that could be understood and seen. But just to actually continue to move forward in these directions is just so irresponsible, And so it's not much more you can say about it, right? Is my ticket going to ever get opened? It's just irresponsible. Somebody will open my ticket and just, it's like an offensive comment, basically. It's like they treat you like you're just this object. Maybe we're just paper to them, right? Maybe we're just money to them. But that's not why I got into the Cardano ecosystem. I didn't get into the Cardano ecosystem to be treated like, an object, like money, Like Liquid made a lot of revenue off these liquidations. Did they, I don't know how that must sit with them. But we don't know because they don't come out and say anything. They hide. They hide behind the scenes while people get wrecked, while my reputation gets wrecked. I think there's damage there too, beyond the 850,000 min tokens. I think that there's damage of reputation that I could pile up on that also. Not to mention like personal stress damage kind of a thing, like trauma, like I mentioned. And that's real, okay? That's real, that trauma. You can go ahead and laugh about that trauma like some of these jokers in the Discord. It's real. It's real. So we'll see you guys soon. And we got some fantastic stuff coming up with OrcVax, actually, and so many others that are doing wonderful things. And it's exciting to be in this space. This is going to be an exciting year. I'm sorry to bring this up here, but it is just something that I think needs to be done. And out of the goodness and love of my heart. So until we meet again.